Oh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
snow day, slow day. I mean, goodness, goodness, goodness.
I was like, is that an orgasmic sound? Is that a
Ah,
sigh? What the
I
hell was that?
wish, I wish, I wish. No, it's like it's like a what else could go wrong side, like for
Oh,
real. Today has
okay.
been a day. And as y'all see, Sean is not with us. And
His
that's not
power is
because I
out.
mean, his power is out. Like, if anything could go wrong today, y'all, it really did. It really did. It is, yes. So, anywho, how are you? I see you made it home
I
finally.
did. I slept
Oh,
all day today, like legit. I just got up and
did you
like,
really?
yes, I got up this morning, took care of my dogs, ran to the store and got some stuff because I hadn't been here, and literally was back in my bed as soon as I could, and I woke up at 3:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, how long did it take you to get home? All day yesterday?
Yes. So I started out trying to get home Friday. Okay, so I was back up. I was traveling
Wow.
in Arizona, right? And I did not take a jacket. Let's start there. I didn't take a coat or a jacket because it was like 70 something degrees in Arizona. So I knew I was going to be in summer dresses and sandals, which I was. And I was dressed appropriately when I left here. I had
That's
on
a
a
no-no.
sweatshirt. I had on a sweatshirt, t-shirt, leggings, my tennis socks, whatever. And I started to grab my coat because I had it in the car. And I was like, I won't need it. I'm good. Oh no. Froze the entire time because the flight was delayed getting out of here. Froze the entire time because it was cold in the airport and on the plane. Both planes.
Wait, stop the presses. Did you look like the Southwest commercial where you had on everything that you had in your suitcase?
I'm mad at the world. So I was like, no, I'm gonna fix this. Literally got up was Tuesday or Wednesday while I was there. I was like, I'm going to the store, and I went and bought a blanket. So because I usually would travel with either a nice coat or a blanket, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go buy me a throw blanket. So I ended up finding like this nice sweatshirt material blanket in my favorite
Mhm.
color, purple, of course.
Of course.
Of course. So I'm rolling through the airport with that on Friday, right? Because I'm like, they will not catch me slipping this time. Hot as hell on the plane. Because why? Why, now that I am prepared, does the plane not want to cooperate? No problem. Get to Dallas where my connection was. And no, let me back up. I told you, I called the airline
Right.
and was like, hey, so y'all keep sending out these emails and these alerts. Can I go ahead and change to an earlier flight? Like, I've already done what I needed to do here for work. I am happy to come back home early to miss all of this. No, you'll have to buy a whole new ticket because you're not in the window. Because this would have been Friday and they weren't doing any changes unless you were flying on Saturday, the 24th or after. I'm like, really? Yeah, okay. So no problem, sure. So, and she, gotta love customer service. Anywho, get to the airport ahead of time because I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and grab something to eat, be, relax in my mind. So it was a long day. I'm out sightseeing. I go to a movie, finally go drop the rental car off, get to the airport, only for us to sit there because, yeah, mechanical problems. So we leave late, we land late, then we're stuck on the tarmac because somebody else is at our gate. So we have to wait. So rushing to the other side of the airport, my flight left, my connecting flight. So I'm stuck. So yeah, outside in the freezing fucking cold Friday night, waiting on the shuttle from the hotel, like running back inside, waiting, warming up, running back outside to see was the shuttle coming. Did this for about 40 minutes. Get on the shuttle to the hotel. That was adventurous because I I ended up
Wow.
writing about it on my Facebook page. Like, we did a show a few months ago where we talked about really just being disconnected and tuned out, right?
Right.
And life can be overwhelming, so you just emotionally close down. So I'm standing at the
Mhm.
bar because I'm like, I need a drink. I'm cold. I don't have any clothes. I don't have anything other than what I have on my back and in my purse. So I'm like, let me just get a drink at the bar, so just knock myself out, go to my hotel room, go to sleep. Standing there talking to the bartender, trying to figure out what to get. And the lady next to me, I had just asked her when I was at the check-in desk, "Are you okay?" Because she was muttering and I couldn't figure out what she was talking about. And she ignored me and walked off. So she walks up and is standing there talking to herself, I guess. I don't know. She goes out. I mean, conversation, and then all I see out the side of my eyes, her going down for the count. Tears,
What?
yes, tears the floor up, takes the chair with her, the bar stool that's next to her, or bar chair that's next to her. So I moved that out of the way, like leave her as she is, because she tore her head up, like she's bleeding from her head. So I didn't want to move her. I'm yelling at them, call 911. And it was like, God, I feel like I'm a decently kind person. I'm not nice. And I recognize this about myself. There's a distinction, right? You
Mhm.
with self to understand.
Right.
So I realize, oh shit, okay, yeah, this is really happening. Let me go ahead and check on this lady. So I'm down on the ground trying to check on her, trying to get her to come to, because she basically is passed out.
Oh no.
I'm trying to get her to come to. And so I'm yelling, somebody call 911. So a group of, I'm going to call them kids, standing there because they all look like they were in their early 20s, like 18, 19, early 20s.
Mhm.
And for context, I think they were all airport employees because everybody was being routed to hotels because everything was shutting down, right? So they are
Okay.
partying, having a good time, and all of a sudden this happens, and they run over there and they're just gawking. And I'm like, did somebody call 911? So I see the guy standing with his phone like this, bitch, did you call 911? And he's like, well, no. I said, y'all some fucking simpletons. Somebody called 911. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? And I'm getting pissed by this point. Because why is it first nature that everybody pulls out their phone to either record or laugh, or like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? So finally, the guy, like it was a guy sitting behind me at the bar, they kind of realized what's happening, and he picks up the phone and calls 911. So I'm kind of telling him what happened. Like, she fell,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The lady that's with them, because it was a group of 3 of them. So the lady that's with them starts trying to translate, because we realize the lady doesn't speak a lot of English. So
Ah,
she's trying to
okay.
translate, and we're trying to find out what her name is. So the bartender's also calling security so they can come help. So now another young lady in the group of kids is hysterical. Oh my God, they're saying what's wrong. Girl, if you don't shut the fuck up and go sit down somewhere, they already on the phone now.
So
Like,
she done went from disinterested to
yes,
full blown panic. Girl,
yes.
if you don't stop.
So I'm like, okay, you can stop yelling. They're on the phone. We got
Right.
it. Y'all can really go away now. Because imagine if you're on the floor and you got all these strangers standing around you, staring at you and yelling, right?
It's
So I'm
happened
like,
to me
okay,
before, but go ahead.
and me too. So I'm understanding. So I was like, everybody just kind of back up a little bit. I'm not gonna move her because I don't know what she hit or didn't hit, if she's injured or just knocked herself out. Let's wait for them to get here and assess her appropriately, right? So then another guy comes over. He was with a different group, but I think they all knew each other from the airport. So he comes over and wants to be the diva on scene now. Like, he's trying to take charge. Let's move her.
Wait,
No,
nobody's a doctor or a nurse. Everybody just a
right,
gawker. Oh
right.
God.
So I'm trying to explain to him, like, please don't move her. Like, she literally hit her head. You don't know what she's on or what she's had to drink. We don't know. Leave her be. She's fine. By this point, we know she's breathing. You know what I'm saying? She's kind
Mhm.
of rousing and coming to. Like, let her be. Let her be. until they get there. Well, before he intervened, she was calm. So then they see a little blood on the floor. Okay, no problem. I get some
Right.
napkins from the bartender. Now she's laying on her side still. I get some napkins from the bartender, and I kind of just wedge it up under there. So her head is literally applying its own pressure, right?
Okay.
No, 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 that's not enough pressure. It ain't that much blood. Like, can you please stop?
Everybody
So
stop watching daggone TV and thinking that you know what to do. Get the
yeah.
hell out of here.
So he's sharing his thoughts, and I'm by this point I'm sitting on the floor with her by her head, just kind of talking to her. The young lady's translating, and he done moved her, trying to grab her head, and we're like, please stop moving her. Like, oh my god, it's really not that much blood, can you stop, can you? So she starts panicking. So now we're having to get the girl to translate. Please tell her to calm down, the 911 is coming, take some deep
Right.
breaths. Now she wasn't doing all this before he started fucking with her. So it becomes even more of a spectacle. Security comes. It just turned into this big thing. Now, mind you, this is like midnight in the lobby because the bar is right there inside the front doors off to the side, right? So you got traffic because people are still coming from the airport trying to get rooms. You got people chilling out, laughing. It's people still in the pool because their pool is inside in the lobby for, I don't even understand the reason, but okay. So it was a lot going on. So finally, I get upstairs to my room and I just drink my drink and pass out. Like, I'm over today. I just want to go to sleep and wake up in the morning and start fresh. Right. And so then we get up Saturday. I had asked for a late checkout. So I checked out at like 1, hung out in the lobby, playing on my phone till 2, got the shuttle to the airport, got there at like 2:45. Because it was only 10 minutes away, but it was that bad on the roads. And so get in there, and they moved my gate like 5 times. So I'm playing dominoes, musical chairs, like keep getting up, moving to different gates. They delayed the flight, delayed the flight, delayed the flight, delayed the flight. We got on the flight, got onto the tarmac. They de-iced us twice and then said that it was freezing up too fast and we weren't going to make it out, and took us back off the plane. So we were all in the concourse, like you're talking about hundreds of people at this point, because they were doing the domino flights back to back to back. And what pissed me off was the guy ended up telling us yesterday, the gate agent, they had canceled the morning flights and the early afternoon flights, but our 6 o'clock flight, they kept saying, no, this one's going to get out, only to cancel us. Lies, right? So you done had us give up our coziness, come back out in this fucking cold, sit in this cold airport for hours, on this plane for hours. We were on the plane for almost 3 hours, like on the plane for 3 hours before they let us get back off because they said it wasn't gonna work.
And for those of you who don't know, if you're on the plane and it is on the runway, you're not even allowed to go to the bathroom.
Nope.
Because
So
once it's on the runway, it's considered um in flight, really, and you're not allowed to get out of your seat.
So you got, okay. So I was in love with the pilot, y'all. So he actually reminded me of a friend of mine. So, dude, I don't even know this pilot's name, but dude was about that life. That's all I'm gonna say. Because there's this dude in the he was with us. Didn't nobody want to
Right.
claim him, but he was with us. Because he was just one of those people. You know how people talk a lot of shit and they talk it loud enough, like they're trying to incite somebody else to get involved, to take over the mantle because they don't really want to. And that's
Right.
what he kept doing. Like, he on the phone, then he gets off the phone and he just walking around talking. Oh my God, it don't make no sense. I'm from Chicago. It get worse than this in Chicago, and we could
But
have been to.
Chicago was closed down yesterday too.
Right. So this was Saturday night. So he just carrying on, walking back and forth, walking back and forth. So we listening to him for about 20 minutes. Where the pilot at? Where the pilot at? Y'all ain't got no more pilots. Can't nobody else. I can fly this motherfucker if it's all that. Put me. So Messy Boots at the gate decides he's going to go down the jetway, and he goes and tells the pilot. Pilot, didn't nobody notice at the time. All of a sudden, you see the door swing open. Okay, we all just sitting here like mad at the world, and the door just swings open like, what the hell? Pilot comes through. Now I got to paint this picture because he came through like a boss. I'm going to guess that he was something other than white American. Hey, said, what's up? He was something other than white American. I'm guessing he was maybe Italian or Latino or something because he had a slight accent, but I couldn't quite pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So pilot come through like, hey, I heard somebody was looking for the pilot. Somebody was talking to me.
What's up?
Baby, he came through. I'm gonna guess he was like 5'5", 5'6", stocky build, crew cut, haircut, professional looking in the little pilot suit with the little hat on. I mean, the door swung open and all he came through was like, and who was looking for me? I'm here. What you want to say? I'm here. What's up? And we were all sitting there like, oh shit. Dude ain't nowhere to be found. I looked up. He on the back wall sitting there looking at his hoodie. Oh, bitch, really? That's what we're doing now. So this other guy's like,
listen, I'm messy. Here you go.
I started to point like, there you go. But I said, I'm not going to do that. He over there hiding. I'm going to let him be great in the back corner by himself. So this other guy was like, sir, you better than that. No, he's not. You should have let him handle it. But okay, you're better than that. Don't.
He ain't want no smoke.
He ain't want no smoke. So Messy Boots was still down there, I guess, with the crew. So the pilot laughs about it and is like, all right, then. Well, I'm here if they want to talk. And he stands there for a minute looking around. And we all kind of looking at the guy like, you're not going to say nothing now. Oh, okay. So pilot goes back down to the plane. We end up getting on the plane. And like I said, they had us there for 3 hours. Let us back off the plane. So now you got hundreds of people on the concourse and they make an announcement like, oh yeah, because this is weather related. Yeah, we're not giving you hotels. Y'all gonna have to do the best you can do. So it was just crazy because you got people that have never been in this situation before. And I really felt bad. Like nobody knew what to do. I jumped on my phone and started looking for hotels. I was trying to call the Wyndham where I was already. Because I'm like, they got a shuttle. I know their shuttle is running. They got room. Let's go. So quite a few of us ended up back over there. Then final update on the lady from the bar before we move on. I end up running into the people that had been at the bar with me helping her. Mm-hmm. And they see me and they're like, did you get our message? Because we connected on Instagram. And I was like, no, what happened? Long story short, we had all disbanded once EMS took her. So we all praying for this lady because she's acting nervous. She's stuttering. She's apologizing. And we're like, holy shit, we are really hoping she made it to the hospital okay. Is she okay? Does she have family here? Like everybody praying like, okay, God, Jesus, whoever's listening, please protect this lady. Oh, no. They released her. She came back to the bar at about 3:00 in the morning and was asking for more shots. Yeah.
Back to the bar?
Back to the bar. And the bar was supposed to close at 12, but because so many of us were stranded, they were like, we'll just serve drinks until everybody.
They was like, we're going to make that money because half of y'all ain't got no room, so you're going to be down here anyway.
Right. So she came. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'm sending up whole prayer, sitting here in tears, like, Lord Jesus, please bless this lady. Couldn't even go to sleep till I had prayed for her. And this half was back at the bar asking for shots. Yes. So y'all forgive me. I look a little disheveled tonight. Okay, first of all, my snuggle bunny came over and he was harassing me and jumping all over my head. So, but it was worth it because he tired the dogs out. But I'm tired. When I tell y'all, I have spent like out of the last 48 hours, I spent about 25 of those hours sitting in the airport and or on a plane. And so we finally got back about 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that last night. And
oh gosh,
I was so ready to run up in my bed. Like I didn't even know what to do. I almost started to tell you I wasn't coming tonight. You and Sean can handle it. Then when he said his power was out, I was like, okay, well, we got shit to talk, so
if you'd have put me on here by myself, it'd have been wilding. You know that. I'm already wild. So
especially with tonight's topic. Sometimes it's just bad decisions and you just stupid. Hey, Rob, you said good evening. Hope all are doing well with these frigid conditions. Man.
Oh my God. Listen, let me tell you something. Y'all know I have little Morkies. I have two Morkies and a Shorkie. And they
Two
went
Morkies and a
outside.
Storky.
Right. So one is a Shih Tzu and a more Yorkie, and the other two are Maltese and Yorkies. So they went outside, and then they got stuck for a minute because the when the sun went down, everything became like a sheet of ice. And well, it was already a sheet of ice, but they went out and then couldn't get back up the little steps because the steps was like a
Oh,
slope, and it was just yeah. And so I said, you better get a running start because I'm not coming out there.
huh?
I
No,
said, you better run and
you
jump.
better run.
So
No,
yeah, so
there's
that's
their little short little hearts. And then that was a thing too, because I was trying to find somebody to get to the house and take care of the dogs. Man, it's stressful when you
hmm
travel and
it
you
is.
got pups. Cause what the hell? Um,
At least they wasn't kids. But you
yeah,
couldn't have left them home alone. Well, I
no,
don't
that's
know.
no, that's
Why?
abuse.
Why not? Oh, well, I'm so far removed from having children at the house.
That's abuse.
I'm so glad that I don't have children in this day and age, honey.
Well, like
Because
they
I
used to
was
ask us, did you die?
right, but I was watching the news about a week or so ago, and they said it costs $28,000 a year to send kids to daycare. I was like, shh.
I'm not
That was
surprised.
at one time, that was what I made a year. So you mean I'd have either been homeless and kids at daycare or
Yeah.
what?
Because it's like
Like,
four or five hundred
wow.
dollars a week, depending on your child's age.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
getting any type of government subsidies or assistance based on what you make, based on location. I went through the process with the state to open a home daycare years ago, and I decided
Hmm.
I didn't like other people's kids that much. But we went through the whole
Right.
process, like bought
Kids
all
are
the stuff.
bad.
Yeah, bought all the stuff. It was a 2-year program, with all the trainings and certifications, and did everything. And I kept asking myself, like, no, you only no.
Yeah, because that's the thing about it is it's different with some of these parents because some of these parents is not my baby, not my baby.
And
Look,
they'll
little,
be the baddest
and
kids.
you know what? I'm like, look, little Chucky ass is messed up when you gone.
Well,
That part.
so
So that's why stop calling everything a lesson. You're right.
because some shit is
Some
just
shit.
bad decisions and stupid ass mistakes.
That part.
I said it. Y'all
That
know I'm
part.
typically compassionate and loving and kind, but I'm gonna
She
use the example of the
is.
lady at the hotel. Like that was
Right.
just badass decisions and stupid ass mistakes. If you done
That
fell out
part.
and bust your head to the point that you're bleeding and you trying to come back and get shots, I would say something is critically wrong. And
Well, she probably does have some trauma going on.
mhm,
Like for all we don't know why she wanted to take shots in the first place because
don't
obviously something was wrong, right? So obviously something was wrong. However,
I'm so let me back it up.
once I done had a EMS bill,
I'm gonna back it up and
yeah,
say we are not gonna give that excuse, right? Because yes, sometimes there absolutely is something wrong. Someone is struggling with something. Most people are masking, right? They're drinking to mask, they're drinking to
exactly.
cope, they're drinking to deal. Yes. However,
Mhm.
I'm not going to give her the excuse because I don't know, right? I don't know if she was
Right.
dealing. So that's what we were trying to say at first. Like we were telling the EMS, like, we don't know if there was some medication. You can smell the alcohol, but we don't know if there was medication involved. Like maybe she mixed it on accident. Maybe she's trying to cope with something.
Or she was drinking on a plane and then drinking at the hotel.
Right. Like, don't know. But that's a wake up call. Like if you passed out and hit your head on the tile floor and your blood is on the floor and they got to come mop it up, that should be enough to say, I clearly don't need to be. I'm not saying you got to go cold turkey, but at this moment in time, I don't need to be
I
drinking
don't need
right
no
now.
more tonight.
Right. So that's why I'm like,
Well,
no. let's call a spade and say sometimes it's just dumbass decisions and bad coping skills or
Well,
non-existent coping skills.
technically, she wasn't drinking no more that night because it was after 3 when she got back.
Oh my God, girl, if you don't shut the hell up. No, no. So
I mean,
I get
different
it, we all
day.
going through. But at some
Yeah.
point, so this is what I used to tell my patients, right? Like when I worked in the alcohol treatment centers and I worked in a methadone clinic. And I used to tell my patients this. Yeah, we first have to understand chemically that using alters your brain. That's first and foremost. This is why people get addicted, because they're going to always be chasing that feeling that they felt that very first time they got high and or drunk. Now, some
Right.
people are, hey Tanya, some people are going to be more susceptible.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be more susceptible. That being said, I'm going to use myself as an example. And I'm not saying, I am not one of them people that's saying you got to white knuckle it or that you just got to have willpower, because sometimes that's absolute bullshit and you need more than willpower. You need help.
Right. You
But
need
I'm going to use
therapy.
myself as an example to say, if anybody has an excuse to drink and not have limits, it would be me. If anybody has an excuse to use drugs and not have limits, it would be me, because both of my parents were addicts and alcoholics, right? And my mom has been honest enough to say she doesn't remember what all she used when she was pregnant with me. That being said, I got all the reasons in the world to have altered brain chemistry and all of these things and be more susceptible. And I have
Right.
always been really conscious of that. Like, because I know that, I'm very clear on limitations that I impose upon myself. I don't drink a lot. If I drink something once a week, that's a lot for me. I can go months without anything, right? And
Right.
typically if I'm drinking it's because I'm celebrating something. Maybe I'm out to dinner with friends or on a date or whatever. I mean, I have alcohol in the house. This is 2026. I've got some alcohol I've had in the house for almost 10 years. I just don't drink a lot. But that's because I understand I would be more susceptible.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to test it. I used to test it when I was around other people to see where my limit was. Can I drink this and put it down? Can I drink this and walk away? Can I drink this or, without feeling like I got to keep going? And for me, I've always been able to do that. Now, maybe it's because I saw all the bad reasons why. I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm not saying you got to white knuckle it. I'm not saying that you have to willpower yourself through it. I am saying that we all have to learn coping skills. Because if I had not taken the time to educate myself and learn coping skills, I might be out there using. I might be out there twirling and doing all kind of who knows what to self-soothe. You get what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people go that route. But at the end of the day, we have choices. And I used to tell my patients that every time they came in for a session, you have a choice. Now, you may need help to enforce that choice. You may need help to stick to that choice, but you got a choice. You're not powerless in this.
And that's the thing that people don't understand too, though, is that every addiction is not a chemical.
Sex,
And
shopping,
sex, shopping, right.
gambling.
And some of them create that same high, that same intensity, and they give you that same dopamine rush.
Yes.
And again, not a lesson, just a bad decision.
Because they be like, oh, the devil. He
Stop
probably be over
blaming
there in the
every
corner like, I wish you stopped lying on me.
right. He probably like, now bitch, you know I ain't mess with you like
Jesus
that.
ain't said that, and the devil ain't made you do it. Come on now,
Right.
people.
It's like stop it, stop it, stop it. But the other thing is that sometimes people have a problem with accountability.
Very true.
And so that's why they want to blame trauma or the devil or
Very true.
anything else. Like, I mean, if you 30 years past being a damn juvenile and you still blaming your childhood. Well,
Well, so I remember at the methadone clinic, I had this one particular client, and I guess they were trying to haze me. Like when I first started, they gave me this one lady, and everybody hated her. Like she was difficult. She was a Hellcat. She come up and was screaming, cussing you out, baby. You were everything but a child of God. She threatened to put hands on people, and
oh,
so
look.
and we weren't and we weren't allowed to have weapons in the building, right? So
Oh,
okay,
what I did, what no weapons, honey. She'd have
listen,
got right in
no.
the throat.
No, I'm telling you, this is this. So a lot of patients would act out because they feel like they know you don't have any weapons in the building, right? Other than the security guard. So she came into my office one day and I blocked her. So if you're using methadone, if you don't get your therapy sessions in,
Mm-hmm.
your therapist can block you in the system so that you can't get your dosage until you come see them.
Oh.
So that's what I did. I was like, I'm not finna change because I'll give you so many chances, right? Okay, I see you picking up
Mm-hmm.
your dose every day, but you're not coming to see me. Oh, okay. So I blocked her, put a note in there, will not release it until you come see me. So she came in there screaming and cussing, threatening to pick up something, and I was all the way down in the hall in the corner. And so she closed my office. No, she didn't close my office door first. Oh, okay. Do me a favor, baby. What? Close that door for me. She closes the door. I said, listen, bitch, we go don't get it twisted. I'm not none of them. You done met the right one today. Cause see, I'll keep you and make you go back to the downstairs and have a discussion with the psychiatrist before I unblock you. Now we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. You pick your drug at this point. You want your dose and you want to go to work or you want to keep acting a fool and screaming. Because see, I can meet you outside. We can go on and walk across the street off
Oh
this work
shit.
property and I can meet you outside. I said, this is how you want me to talk to you, right? You're used to everybody trying to be professional and all technical and use these big words. I'm going to meet you right where you at. I can help you if you want to get better. Or I can go on and clock out and take this early lunch break and we can go and cross the parking lot and handle business. And then I can come on back over here like it never happened and go on about the rest of my day. How would you like to proceed? And she sat down and was like, yes, ma'am, because nobody had ever held her accountable. Like, you don't get to come. You made choices that led to you being here. And my job is to help you.
She found out she was finna catch them paws.
Right. Like, because they really felt like, well, you ain't got no weapons. Don't need them. I was
No,
raised by a crazy veteran for a dad. Don't listen.
you
Don't need them. But
know
what you're going to do is respect me so I can either help you or not. But I'm going to let you pick. And I was smiling the whole time. And she really probably thought I was crazy. And so she
that
said,
part.
yes, ma'am. Okay, now that you're calm, let's
That
go ahead
part.
and get this work in so I can release you and you can go right on downstairs and get your dose and go about your business for the day. See you tomorrow. Like, this is why I say some stuff is just stupid. You
She
need
said.
help. Don't come up in here stupid.
She said that bitch crazier than I am.
No, baby, she was talking about hopping desk. You ain't got to hop no desk. I'm going to make it easy for you. We're going to both walk downstairs calmly across that street in that open lot so we're not on company property. I clock out. Give me 2 minutes. And I used to tell the kids that too when I worked I worked in this psychiatric academy lockdown facility. And what I realized is nobody was talking to them. Everybody was talking at them. So I made this statement one day because this girl was cutting a damn fool. I said, you don't even realize how you setting yourself up because see, I get to clock out and go home. And you will still be here. And she got upset. Everybody keeps saying that. Y'all just think y'all better than us. I said, no. But let me explain to you why adults are saying this to you. See, you are creating consequences that you don't want to really handle. You're showing out. You trying to tag team and get other people involved. So now all of y'all getting restricted. Right? You look silly. Because see, now your friends are able to go play. They're able to go get free time. They're able to do all of these things and go on outings while you sit here and look stupid. I get to clock out and
Mhm.
go home, and every other adult in this facility gets to clock out and go home. So no matter how much you cuss,
Mhm.
no matter how much you fuss, no matter how much you rage out and threaten to beat somebody's ass, probably not going to happen, because nobody's really willing to lose their job for you, but ain't nobody going to take no ass whooping for free either. But the more you act out, the more you get docked and restricted. And the longer you're here, does that actually
Mhm.
make sense for you? I said, just have a real conversation with me. Does this make sense for you? Because right now you're making stupid decisions. You can't talk to me like that, but I am, because you want to be an adult so bad. Let's have this adult conversation.
That part.
You in here because of stupid decisions, and you keep making stupid decisions, and you keep raging at us, mad because your circumstances aren't changing. So let's talk about it like two equals. Tell me your rationale. And she was going on and on about some bitch pissed her off. Okay, she's not a bitch. She's a child like you. What's next? Well, he did this and this little boy hurt my feelings. He's a child. What's next? Like, I really just broke it down to her one day. And then we talked as a group, and I explained to them, you all are hearing this statement and you're getting upset that you assume that we think we're better. No, we're literally trying to stop you in your tracks and make you recognize you're not hurting us. We leave, you stay. That's not helping you.
And the thing is that folks do not realize, and I mean, and I'm guilty too, that you're only a child for a short amount of time, and
Mhm.
then you've got the rest of your life to be an adult. And it's fucking overrated over here.
I want my money back.
Right? It's like, okay, I'm through with the trial. Can I go back to taking out the trash and washing the damn dishes like I was told?
I want my
Because
money
it's,
back.
yeah, it's just like that.
They
The
lie.
thing is, right, the thing is that
Hey,
it
Maya.
looks like, oh my God, they get to do so much. They have so much freedom and this, that, and the other. But with freedom comes responsibility.
Ooh.
And that is that's a conversation that people aren't ready for.
Well, I think, like, in my mind, I think that so many of us are not taught basic coping skills. And so when we wild out, and I'm guilty of it too, girl, I was doing all kind of dumb shit when I was younger, like real
Right.
dumb shit. And I'm glad there were no cameras, and I'm glad I didn't get caught with a lot of it. And I knew how to hold my secrets in my business. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
But
That part.
that's also because I grew up around people and there was a code, right?
Right.
And so I I learned some of it because there was a code. There was a certain way that you handled yourself.
Mhm.
And then two, I remember being 18 and just looking at the people around me, right? I looked at not only my parents, but I looked at like family members. I looked at a lot of the people in my neighborhood. I looked at, a lot of the people I had gone to school with. And I was a high school dropout at 15. I dropped out in 10th grade. And it wasn't because I wasn't smart. It wasn't, anything other than, at that point, I want to be honest enough to say, looking back, I think it was low self-esteem and insecurity. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel smart, even though I was, because I had all these people
Mhm.
telling me that I wasn't worth anything, and
Mhm.
so I fell into that, and I fell in with the wrong crowd. And I was bold with it. I used to walk out in front of the principal, like, see you tomorrow, and would just walk out the building and go do whatever and come back the next
Mhm.
morning, check in, do a class or two, leave. And then eventually I wasn't going at all. And I just found myself in that locomotive that I didn't know how to stop. And I remember talking to my grandmother when I was 18. Like, I was working by then. I was responsible, had a job, knew how to budget, manage my checkbook, all those things. But
Mhm.
I didn't know how to fix it. And she just was like, but you can. And I'm thankful every day, even now, that I listened, and that I, even through all the voices, I still heard her enough. Now, it didn't fix everything, and I still went through a lot, but I heard her enough to recognize that I had a choice. I was doing dumb shit, but I had a choice. So I went and got my GED, went to tech school, decided I liked it, went to college, got a degree, got another degree, and I kept going. And that's why I'm harsh with people, because I'm like, there is a way. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. Doesn't mean it's easy, but there's always a way if you want to be different, if you want better, if you want to learn. And coping skills is where it starts. Like, we can't be blowing our top all the time, Gypsy. You know how we do in our
Oh,
community.
I had a very bad temper. So Tanya is my best friend. We've been friends since we were 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanya and I skipped school, senior class skip day as sophomores. And when we went to the 20-year reunion, I took my mom with me. And the funny thing is that my mom had a reputation for her. She was 4'11", and she would come up to that school and tear my ass up right there in the hallway, right? And I just remember, I don't know if Tanya remember this when we was at the reunion, and Diedrich and Cedric. Now here they are. There are our friends from middle school all the way up, and they were like, "Hey, Miss Blake," like she was like they were still 14 and 15 years old, right? And they would talk about how they remember my mom coming up to school and getting me in the hallway, right? Bad decisions, but you know, thankfully I didn't tumble all the way down that bad road, but I could have. I could have. And the thing is that everyone is one bad decision from being a statistic.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to start taking accountability for those decisions, right? So when I was active duty, you hear me say that I had a temper. When I was active duty, I this could have ended up badly. It could have ended up with me going to the brig because I snatched this girl. We were on watch. We were on duty. And I was on the telephone, and back in the day, you had that phone with the cord and all of that. And we were in the galley, and she came in. The galley is the kitchen, y'all. And she came in and she hung the phone up while I was on hold. And when I tell you I beat that bitch back and forth and off the back dock, where the back dock is where the truck used to come to unload like pallets and stuff like that to go into the galley, into the kitchen. I beat her, and she could have died because I actually threw her off of there. It was like a 6-foot drop. And I went to captain's mast, and I had to go to anger management training. But it wasn't until I think I was like 27, 28 when I started getting my temper in check, because I was wilding. And now that I look back, there are so many things that could have happened to me. Like when I jumped out of my car in Norfolk, I was stationed in Norfolk at one time. I jumped out of my car at a light and ran up on this car because she flipped me off. And we were
Girl.
all stopped at a light. And so and it was a car there. She was not by herself, but I was. And I jumped out of the car and went up to her window and was trying to get in her car. These bad decisions. And so when people say, oh, well, it was road rage, it was this, it was that. Some folks are just one bad decision from being out of here.
Yep. I am thankful that that stuff happened to me so early
Mm-hmm.
that, and I was dumb enough to be naive and fearless
Mm-hmm.
in those moments, but it happened early enough that it changed my path. So, like, I
Mm-hmm.
remember, same, I had a lot of anger, and it was just from growing up and all the stuff from the adults and all the stuff, from my family. And I remember we had just gone back to school. Ironically, we were in Texas. I think we were in Houston at the time. And we had just gone back from Christmas break, and you feeling good because you done got your new outfits for Christmas, and everybody's wearing their cute. And there was these girls, and it just will never cease to amaze me. I've never understood this, how women will fight over men. So there was
Mm-hmm.
this boy in my home ec class, and we were partnered up together and had to do all our projects and stuff together, and we just became friends. But he was dating this girl in this clique that didn't like me because of it. And so
Mm-hmm.
we got into the gym class one day, PE, and they had been harassing me, I think, for a while. And I was one of those quiet kids, like I just didn't say much, shy and introverted. And just that particular day, I had enough. She got on my nerves. And so we get back into the locker room. That's when I learned, don't let your friends tell you to write a check that your ass can't cash, because they hyped
Mm-hmm.
her up to walk up to me and like try to get me into a fight. And I had
Mm-hmm.
already been taught by the age, I think we were 10 or no, we were 11 or 12. And I had already been
Mm-hmm.
taught, you don't start nothing, but you finish it. Cause you either taking the ass whooping out there and giving one, or you gonna take two if you don't fight back and you come home and
Right.
we find out about it. And so, like, we were in the locker room, in the lockers, and there were these benches mounted like in front of the
Right.
rows of lockers. So I'm standing in front of the bench, and she comes up behind me, and yeah, okay, we gonna do something, because if not, I got stuff to do. So I turn around and start putting my clothes back on, and she tries to sucker punch me, and
Oh.
I blacked out. I literally blacked out. And when they grabbed me off of her, I had grabbed her by the hair and wrapped it around my hand and yanked her backwards over the bench, and was like, wailing on her. And so it took
Wow.
a group of them to pull me off of her. And they went and got the teachers, and for me, I scared myself. Like, it was empowering. It was a powerful moment, because that was one of the few fights that I had been in.
Mm-hmm.
But it was scary, because that was the first time that I had ever I think that was like a second or third fight I had been in at that point in my life. But that was the first time I had just been pushed to that point where I felt like I didn't have control.
Right.
And I was like 11 or 12, and I was channeling all that rage that I was constantly getting from the adults. And then when I was 16, I think I was 15 turning 16, um I cut class one day, and I was with my supposed best friends, and they smoked weed and I didn't. So we ended up cutting school, walking down the street to the train station, and we saw these guys, and I thought they knew the guys. I really did.
Mm.
I'm young, dumb, and stupid. So I'm thinking they knew the guys. So we decided to get in the car with them, and they're smoking. And what saved me was I just was fearless. So we go back to this house, and I'm whole time asking questions like, where are we going? Oh, we finna go to such and such house. You know them? So I thought there were
Mm.
guys in the car, but I'm trying to figure out, well, whose house are we going to? And then I finally realized, so y'all don't know any of these people, and my dumb ass just sitting here going along with y'all. Oh no. Okay. So we get to the house, and these guys want their money because y'all done smoked up all that damn weed in the car ride over here.
Oh
It
no.
got deep real quick. So we're in the living room of this house, and you just get a bad feeling, right? And I'm like, I'm finna go. Oh, ain't nobody going nowhere till y'all pay me some money. Well, ain't no y'all, because y'all wasn't smoking. It was these two dumbasses. I'm finna go. Y'all coming? And the guy pulled out a gun and was like, some words were said, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody going nowhere till somebody give me some money. And again, all I can charge it to was just young, dumb, and fearless. And I was like, y'all are stupid. Fuck you. I'm leaving. And I turned my back on him. And I said, y'all either walking with me or you're not. And I walked out the door. And I guess because I was bold enough to go, like they booked it and came with me. And all I could hear was the guy behind me like screaming. And I think he tried to pull the trigger and the gun jammed.
Mm.
And I just remember thinking, holy shit, like, God, you got me out of this. I'm not that stupid. I'm not gonna put myself back. So obviously I stopped cutting school with them, but I was still cutting school, just not with them. And I changed my path slightly, and then I ended up in juvenile detention for like a weekend.
Mm.
And that was enough to scare me straight because I did not like the feeling. First, that scared me straight. And then I didn't like the feeling of somebody telling me when I could use the bathroom, when I could eat,
Right. Right.
and having complete control over my, like, that was enough for me to be like, oh no, I don't want this. I don't have to be a thug.
Right.
Like, y'all can have it.
Right.
And
Right.
I didn't necessarily get on the straight and narrow at that point, but I learned enough hanging around the people. I learned how to do my dirt differently. I'll say it that way. And I learned how to stay under the radar, and I learned how to, how to mask it. You act one way in one circle, you act another way in a different circle. The left and right hand don't talk. You know what I'm saying? And so until I got into my 20s, I still was, doing different things. I just learned how to stay under the radar enough to keep myself, undetectable.
Right.
And that's why I said I'm glad. Number one, there were no cameras. Number two, there are some things I'll never tell because that's just the code that I
Right.
grew up in. Number three, I realized there were certain things that mattered to me, my freedom being the biggest one.
Correct.
And hey Alicia, and hey Dale, if I didn't want to give up my freedom, then I had to make changes. So like I said, I went and got my GED, I went to tech school, I went to college, and I just kept going, and I've been working since I was 17. So it wasn't that I was irresponsible. I knew how to manage my money, save my money, all of that. Just dumb, like hanging around the wrong people. But at some point, I think we all have to come to that place. We make a choice. And I don't care whether it's in a relationship.
Right.
He don't want you, she don't want you, leave them the fuck alone. And I sent y'all some screenshots. I was reading this one. And so when we were talking about this topic, I was like, this is on point. Because this young lady was talking about this guy, like he just dragging her. And I see this all the
Right.
time in the groups that I'm in when I be looking for content, like, yo, she just slept with my homeboy. Y'all think she still like me? No, and you're stupid.
Right. And that's like,
He be
yeah.
beating on me. Y'all think he loved me? No, and you need to leave. Like, why?
And listen, and the thing is stop jumping
Hey,
in
April.
and out of relationships thinking they're gonna fix something, because you need to be a whole you before anything else. Let me tell you something that I saw at the beginning of this weekend, and it really made me, I said something to them. The people that were talking about, oh, I'm gonna be snowed in by myself. And you know what? Let me tell you what I said. If you don't like your company, why the fuck should
Who
I?
else would? Right.
Like, duh. So what, you gonna be snowed in by yourself? And if you don't know how to get along with you, why the fuck would I?
Well, I think this is why a lot of relationships imploded during COVID, because y'all don't like each
Exactly.
other. You just ain't never really been forced to deal with each other. It was a bad decision and you knew it. Now you're
Right.
dealing with the consequence of that bad decision because you just be with
Right.
each other's faces. Like, come
Right.
on.
Right. And like, so you often hear me say that I've been married before, but it was a bad decision. It wasn't, it was, it was a bad decision. It wasn't a lesson. It was a bad fucking decision. And I own it. It was a bad decision. Okay. I like, when you've been back and forth with somebody for so long, you back and forth for a reason. There is a reason that you're not consistent in your relationship. And stop trying to make stuff fit that doesn't fit. You
Yeah.
trying to force it and it doesn't fit. And the thing is that we need to stop trying to stop being afraid of being alone, being with some, like, so that's what I was thinking about when people was complaining about, oh, I'm gonna be snowed in by myself. Stop being afraid of being alone. What
That
in the
part.
hell is that all about? Like, if you're afraid of being alone, like, now I have a new friend that I really
Oh.
like him. I have a new friend and I like him. However, comma, I am taking my time. And if that means that he goes the other way because I'm moving too slow, so be it. But I've learned from my past bad decisions that when I rush, I make bad decisions.
I, so we talked about this. I feel like you have to know thyself. And if you feel like you always rush and you make bad decisions, then I think you have to check in with yourself and ask, were you rushing? Like, was it a time sense of rush, or was it a no matter how much time you would have spent with that person, you never would have just been a good fit, or you never would have truly gotten to know them? Because it's different for every person. There are people I've met that have known each other for a week and gotten married and been together 30, 40 years. There are people I've known that dated 10 years and got married and couldn't last 2 years in the same household together. So, you know, time
Right.
isn't always the thing, but what are you
It's not
using to inform
time.
your decision?
Yeah, it's not necessarily time, but but in a way it is, because in a way, you usually meet somebody's representative in the beginning.
Eh,
And eh, and
mm,
people can't keep a mask on forever. So
well,
I give it about three
I
months
get
and the
it.
mask usually falls off, right? So
But is
I'm just
everybody wearing
kind
a mask? Because I get the sentiment and I agree with you on that point, but I don't think everybody wears a mask. I think some people are just assholes and they're gonna be assholes, and some people are just genuinely sweet and they're just genuinely sweet. Like,
I don't know, because I think in the beginning we rose color everyone.
mm,
We rose color everyone. There are some things that, if you look back on your past situationships, and I say situationships because everything ain't a relationship, but when you look back, there are some that you look back on and there was red flags in the beginning that you chose to gloss over because you wanted to see the best in them.
April, Tanya said, "Amen," and so be it. What were you talking about, Tanya, with the
when
with
I
the new
when I
guy?
said about the new guy, yeah. And then 6 months, she said 6 months. Yeah, I say 3 months. I say 3 months because, and yes, it does depend on the vibe, Maya. It does. It does depend on the vibe, but at the same time,
See,
you
that's where
kind
I'm
of,
going.
but you kind of can see that there are some things that usually, like, even if you got a vibe going, if there's something that kind of like raises a little, hmm, we tend to overlook it if we've got a vibe other places. And
No,
unfortunately, one of the places that we tend to ignore our vibe from is, if that if that thing be thinging,
if it's thinging,
then
thinging,
if thing
okay.
is thinging, then
But
we tend to ignore the red flags.
But is it the same for everybody? Because Maya said we choose not to see by giving them the benefit of the doubt. So
Absolutely.
and okay, so Maya, I know you can feel me on this too. I'm going back to what you said about it depends on the vibe. I'm a gut instinct person, but I still don't trust anybody until I engage with you, no matter what my gut says. Now, if my gut says, "Oh, danger, back the fuck up," there's nothing you can tell me different. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be bothered. I'm
Right.
going to trust that. I'm going about my business and see myself out. But if my gut says, okay, they're good people, they're safe, whatever, I hear that, I feel that, I see that, I sense that, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm still going to want to engage with you. And my guard is going to be up until I feel like I get to know you a little bit and feel your energy out in person. And as I do that, then my guard starts to come down a little bit, or I may see something else that makes me feel like, okay, they're not a bad person. I still don't vibe with them, or I still don't want to deal with them. I don't care whether it's a man, woman, professional, personal, whatever. Like if I just don't feel great about it, I don't want to do it. I've not listened to myself enough times to know, trust myself, right? So, but like I said, I think it's different for everybody. You have to define what makes sense, like based on your personality, based on your needs, based on your intentions, your desires, your expectations. What is it that you want in friendship? What is it that you want in your romance? How do you expect your family members to treat you? How do you expect coworkers or employees or whoever to treat you? Like everything is a relationship in my mind. The more we engage with people, that's simply relationship of a different kind. You know what I'm saying? Maya said, I'm still going to trust you to do what's best for you, not me. Now
Absolutely.
that's facts. That's facts based on the person, because there are those of us that will go above and beyond, even when it's what's best for someone else and not us, right? Now, every time, no, but there are a lot of times, I can only speak for myself in that regard. Um, there are a lot of times I will go above and beyond based on what's best for somebody else or do what's best for them, not to hurt myself, but if I feel like it's going to balance out. You know, I think that's
Right.
part of love. Love is a give and take. And if I love you as my friend, or if I love you as my man, or as my family, or whoever, there's a give and take on what's best in this circumstance. Now, I think that also changes as we age. I've gotten more selfish as I've aged, in a good way. I've
Mm.
you know, but
Now, some
actually,
people are takers, though.
some people are takers.
Some people are takers, and when they latch on to givers, a lot
Yes,
of times, you know, our giving nature can again lead us into a bad decision, not a lesson, but a bad decision because
bad
we're
choices.
we're expecting people to be like us
Mm-hmm.
and do things like us. Yes,
Tanya said, I've learned that when I sacrifice myself, it's never worth it. Now, there's a
right,
difference in going
right.
above and beyond in a helpful way versus self-sacrifice. Those are two different things. And that's where we have to know ourselves and have boundaries, right? But you know what's interesting? So I was talking to one of my besties Monday, I think, last Monday to Sunday, hell, whenever it was. And she kind of checked me. She was like, boo, I'm gonna need you to relax a little bit. And I was like, what? And she was like, girl, them boundaries, they ironclad. Like, you don't play at all.
Right,
But I need for you to
right,
relax just a little bit. And I was like, and she was like, no. Like, bring it down, Sam. You're over here in the moat, and like you
right.
got alligators and shit gonna bite people before they can get to you. And I was like, damn.
Hmm.
So, I think it's self-reflection too, right? Like sometimes our bad choice or decision harms us, not because we're doing something stupid and intentionally, but because we're
Right.
responding out of fear or insecurity or ignorance, lack of knowing something, lack of understanding. So when she said that to me, I was like, damn, okay, well, I got some
Well,
self-reflection to do.
fear because now some of it was past trauma.
Yes.
Past
Seriously.
trauma, past trauma does lead to bad decisions
Hey,
also.
sure. But when we become aware of it, is it not our job? So this is where I sit with that. Because we all have hurt, we all have fears, we all got shit. It is what it is. Life. None of us get through this life unscathed. But at the
Life
end of
be
the day,
lifing.
life be life. But is it not our responsibility? Like I self-reflect. So when I fuck up, when I see something or somebody point something out to me, I sit with that and I'm like, okay, yeah. And I self-analyze, why did I decide to do that or say that or handle this that way or behave that way or not do this or not go there? Like, I break it down and really ask myself why, because I want to get to the root of the issue so that I don't keep doing the same dumb thing over and over again, because that is insanity. If I want a different experience with whatever it is, I've got to do something different. That's like, if you want to save money, you can't go buy the latest Birkin bag or I love
Mm.
Brahmin purses. Well, I'm not going to buy a Brahmin purse every season. That's not where my agenda is right now. That would be real stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's
But
bad money decision.
I've also started speaking up, because that was another thing that I did not do before. Is a
Mm,
lot of times if I would have something on my mind, or like a bad feeling or whatever, um sometimes I just wouldn't discuss it, if that makes
mm.
sense.
Yeah.
And so I've started saying, "Hey, I don't like this," or "Hey, I feel this way." And not putting it back on the other person, but saying, "This is what I feel," because you
Mm,
can't tell me how I feel. So before, the old me would be like, "You did, you did, you did, you did, you did." But the
yeah.
new me is saying, "No, this is what I feel. I feel anger when you do this, or I feel dismissed if you do this. Um, let's talk about it." And depending on what is said when I bring it up, because my feelings don't invalidate my feelings. And so, I guess it's all in your approach now. And as I've gotten older, I've learned to be my own advocate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times I wouldn't speak up because of fear of someone getting angry or disappointed, or or coming off as that girl or that bitch. So I wouldn't say anything. And so it's not. Hmm. Yeah, I just think that we need to learn how to advocate for ourselves, so we stop making bad decisions thinking they're a lesson. Stop making bad decisions based on past trauma, because like everybody's not out to hurt us, but everybody ain't out to help us either.
But also stop making decisions based on, well, that's how they did it. Whether they is the
Right.
mom, the grandma, the dad, the uncle, the cat, rat, dog, cousin, whoever. Like, a lot of the times we are basing our choices and our information and decisions on what we've seen other people model for us. And they were operating in pain or fear or ignorance or scarcity or whatever the
Right.
case may be. So we have to be willing to fall and make mistakes. That's a part of life. Like, I'm a big advocate for, make your mistakes, get out there and be willing to fall on your face, because that's the only way that you're going to learn what you need, what you desire, what feels good, what
Right.
doesn't. That's the only way that you're going to find the greatness that's meant for you. Like, you got to be willing to take chances. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it's in love, money, finance, job, moving across the country, quitting a job and starting a new one, going to school, leaving school. Like, every path isn't for everybody. And so what may look like a stupid decision to one person may be the best decision of your life for you, because it's the path that you need to be on. But it needs to be because it's what we want. Like, that's
Hmm.
my thing, right? If you, I got a friend. Well, we're not friends anymore, but life, we were best friends for a long time, and life took us in different ways. But I remember even back in college, she was just so sexually expressive and free and comfortable in her sensuality. And people judged her for it. And I love that shit. I was like, girl, you are a fucking boss. Like, I just was so
Hmm.
in awe of her comfort in her body. And she's part of who
Hmm.
inspired me in my journey of exploring and
Hmm.
and having these conversations. Plus, like, I was 19, 20, having these conversations with clients, like, what the fuck? I don't know. So I was having to research and learn, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
I still remember her just being so comfortable in her skin And I was in awe of that because that's not what we as women are taught.
Mm-mm.
And so it's interesting because I caught a part of this podcast interview earlier today. I was listening and I was with the guy at first. I was rocking with him. And then he went left with the Christian and the sex thing. And I was like, no. What he was saying at first was women have to stop looking for men to behave like women
Right.
in the relationship. Like he was like, I love you, so I'm gonna get up and sacrifice. Like I'm gonna get up and bust my ass. I'm gonna make shit happen. And you could hear his wife in the background. She was the one filming, right?
Right.
So she was asking him questions. And I guess it really wasn't a podcast interview. They just did a video. But he was talking and she was just kind of filling in blanks and asking. And he was like, listen, stop looking for that man to love you in a way that makes sense for you. Let him love you in a way that makes sense for him. I agree and disagree on that. You have to learn how to love a person in the ways that feel safe for them while being able to express yourself naturally as well. There's a balance there. You can't just be like, love you, and you beating them upside the head with it, right? But
Right.
he was like, women today have to stop looking for men to behave in a certain way and thinking that he's going to give it to her this way because this man did, or he's got to behave this way because that's what she wants. Like, again, I agree to disagree. I think there has to be conversation. Both people have to put it on the table and figure out what makes sense for them and then create that experience together,
Your
right?
love languages are different. And if your
Yeah,
love languages are different, you got to learn how to communicate in a way that your partner can understand what it is you're trying to say.
absolutely. But also recognizing that in addition to the love languages, I think he was also trying to convey expectation and needs. And that's why I was rocking with him because he was basically saying if a man wants you, he gonna do whatever it takes to love you and
Right.
make sure that you as the woman in his life are good, whether that be him sacrificing, whether that be working longer hours, whether that be getting out and
You
shoveling the
shouldn't
snow
have
out the
to
driveway,
you
whether that
shouldn't
be
have to
whatever.
question. You
And that
shouldn't
was
have
his
to
point, right?
question. With
Right.
with either the man or the woman shouldn't have to question whether or not their partner
Whether you're in
really loves it or in it or values them. If you
right,
questioning it or you're laying awake at night thinking, well, what is this? Then it ain't it.
right.
If you got
And
to
so
sit there and wonder what it is, it ain't that.
right. And so I was rocking with him till he got to the whole women where y'all messed up at sleeping with more than one person. You were only meant to sleep with one person and be intimate with one man. And when you get beyond that, then you're out of God's will and some other stuff. And I was like, okay, well, time for me to tune out because, and I don't knock it. If that's your belief, that's your belief. Hey, you like it, I love it. But I think that's the part where I advocate for people to operate in their freedom. What do you believe? What do you need? What do you feel? How do you feel? How do you want to be treated? Define your sexuality, define your relationship, define your money goals, whatever it may
So
be, based on you,
so
not a
wait a
religious
minute.
dogma or
Er,
doctrine of somebody else. What?
time out. So he want her to be faithful to one man, but he can be a hoe.
I don't think
He
that's what
can
he
have
said.
community ping.
I
I'm
don't think
trying.
that's what he
I'm trying. I'm trying to
said.
understand if he only want the woman to be, with one man. But did he say what about the man? Is he community ping? I'm just
No,
trying to
he just
understand.
her. But I will say, I did see somebody ask that question one day, like, okay, if all the men are saying women can't have a high body count and they can't sleep with all the men, who the men sleeping with? And somebody was like each other. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, that's a
I
rational
mean, hey, I didn't want to say that, but I was saying and
it's
thinking
a
that
rational answer. Because if you
that's
don't
the
want us
rest.
sleeping with you, who you gonna sleep with? But again, I think define your needs and your desires based on your needs and desires, not based on religious dogma or doctrine or anybody else's right or wrong. Because what's right for one person is the wrong fit for the next person. You know what I'm saying? And it's stupid. Now, I hear most people say in the dating game and in the marriage game, I can't marry anybody without sampling the goods. I need to know if it's going to work. I need to know how it feel, if it smell good, what it look like, and all this and that. And I get it. Like, do you? That's all I'm saying at
I
the end of the day.
ain't
Do
gonna
you
buy
make
no
decisions?
car without driving that bitch first.
So I got a question. Somebody was messaging while you were talking. Y'all don't get enough of messaging me. I'm gonna start ignoring y'all.
Listen, guys better put your question in the damn box. That's you can get several different aliases on YouTube and just question us there. Why on earth are y'all texting us during the show? We
Uh,
often have to answer our phones and text back and all of this stuff during the show because y'all is just wild.
just wild. So I got a message while we were talking, while you were talking, and yeah, I'm gonna tie these two things in together. So I sent this to you and Sean in our chat. And then I'll go into the question. So did you see the video I sent you? I think it's a rapper dude. I don't really know. I guess he's famous, but I see they were doing like a therapy session or something, him, his lady, and this guy. And I was so turned off by this, and I just, oh, my heart ached for her because she was talking about she just saw the greatness in him. Like she really saw his full potential, his power, who he could be, but he was so limited in how he engaged with her. Now they had kids together. This is the crazy part.
Mm.
And this is how I'm gonna tie this together. So she was talking about how when it came to her expressing her love for him, affirming him, speaking life into him, hyping him up, he would just shut it down to the point of almost getting angry. And it was interesting because as she was talking about it, he jumped in and was like, yo, da 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 da. And went on his diatribe about how, growing up, he didn't get that from his mom, which we understand that, right? He didn't
Mm-hmm.
get it. It's a no for him to the point. He don't like her dancing on him. He don't like public affection. He likes none of it. He ain't here for none of it. And he was saying like his youngest child, he could see her exhibiting that already from even when she was a newborn, like, don't touch me. Now, who knows? That may be that baby's personality. Some of us don't want to be touched all the time, and that's fine.
My
But
niece like that. She don't want to be touched.
right. But I think we have missed the fucking boat as adults when we turn around and continue to procreate and have kids that are born into our trauma. And I see a lot more people saying, I want to be the type of parent my child doesn't have to heal from. And I love that because they're doing therapy, they're working on shit and they're trying to be better. But some of us are so entrenched in our shit that it's like you're perpetuating this. You're keeping this cycle going.
Ah.
Let me finish that statement. Because looking at that interview, he's entrenched in his bullshit. Instead of him listening to the therapist or whoever the guy was, whoever he was, instead of him listening to him like, okay, let's talk through this, he was busy trying to explain it like, no, this is why I'm like this and this is why I'm gonna be like this. Okay, but you see that it's affecting your kids. Like you can't even be affectionate with your kids. Fuck a woman for a
Mhm.
minute, your own children. You don't know how to hug
Right.
them. You don't know how to like this is asinine and insane, right?
Right.
So anyway, to tie
Right.
this into the question, I thought it was a perfect tie-in because they were talking they would message me while you were talking, like, okay, well, how do you dictate if it's too fast to cut it off? That's why I was kind of laughing, like, oh, okay, well, how do you dictate? And I'm paraphrasing because I try to keep everything general. How do you dictate if it's too quick to cut it off? Because she's more affectionate. The guy's not as affectionate. They've been talking like 8 months. Wait, let me see. Okay, yeah, 8 months. And she'll go to hug him and he'll kind of move. They have great passionate sex, but no real intimacy. And I'm using the word intimacy outside of them having sex. Like, has she given it enough time to see if they're a good fit? Because she likes the vibe.
Has
They
she
like each
talked to
other.
him about it?
According to her, they've talked and he just says, I'm not affectionate. My response will be, don't settle for what you don't want. So if you like affection,
Absolutely. If you like affection, don't settle for a cold fish just because y'all have sexual chemistry. Because sometimes now that's the thing is unfortunately as women, we're taught, which is kind of wrong, that sex equals intimacy, and it doesn't. It doesn't. And I'm just gonna say this for myself. Like, I can have sex with you, but if I don't let you kiss me, it's just sex. It's exercise. Cause because to me, kissing is more intimate than sex. Like, seriously, sex is like a release. And and sometimes and sometimes we're I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but sometimes as women we're felt to be we're we're actually, people actually try to make us feel ashamed of the fact that we could say, well, I like having sex with you, but I don't want to be with you.
Mhm.
And that is that's a dangerous spot to be in, because then you wind up staying with somebody you really don't want to be with, just because you called the sex intimacy because you've been sexual with someone, and you haven't been intimate, you've just been sexual with them. Intimacy involves opening up the deep dark places of yourself to and being vulnerable. And if you can't be vulnerable with them, you're not intimate with them, you're just sexual. Stop confusing the two, they're not the same.
I agree. I think that intimacy is a beautiful thing, and it's part of communication, it's part of physical touch, it's part of
Mhm.
looks, it's part of all the ways that you engage with a person, that you feel around a person,
Mhm.
you know. And then sex can be just sex. You're right. I, but like I said, my response, and she responded back and was saying that she's been trying to hold in there because she thinks he's a good guy. I don't give a fuck. You can
Stop
meet another good
stop
guy.
hanging on for potential. Listen, and how old are they? Because it depends on your age. Because if you're over 40, don't wait for potential, honey, because this potential may not come until he need a nursemaid.
Shit, it
Stop
might not
that
come
shit.
in.
Right. And that's it. Like, we need to stop that shit. Like,
And I say the same thing to men. Don't date or marry, man or
don't
woman. Don't date or marry based on potential. If this person never
right.
changes, can you deal with them as they are? Because they may never
Absolutely.
grow into who you think they could or should or want them to be.
Right. And no matter how good you are to them, you can't change them. You can't
Yeah.
change who they are. You can't change how they interact with you, no matter what it is that you do.
She said she's 32 and he's 46. Run.
No, run, girl, run. He too old for that
Right.
shit. Run, girl. He ain't finna
Run.
change. Run, run fast the other way too. Cause
Run.
14, listen, 14 years, that's a lot. Don't give up your damn good years fucking with that dude.
He's old enough to know what he
He's
wants and be
old enough to
comfortable
know.
and
Right,
communicate it.
exactly.
And if he's telling you who he is, believe him. Like, stop trying to date a person and they tell you who they are and you think that they're going to change for you. They will not. People will only
Girl,
change for who they want to be when they are ready to be that person. They may coincide it with being like, I love this person enough to want to be motivated and inspired to change,
mm-mm,
but they are still only truly changing for
that
good and
part.
for longevity when it's something they wholeheartedly, righteously believe in. Other than that, is bullshit, and they're selling you a song to just shut you up in the
Girl,
moment, and
he's
they're gonna go
keeping,
back to it.
yeah, he's keeping your ass as a placeholder until he
Yeah,
finds what
Alicia
it is he
said,
really wants. Right,
she better run. He ain't changing. Right. That's I'm like, run,
right.
baby. You got
Run, girl,
time.
run
You're
fast,
not
run
old.
fast. You only
You got
32.
time.
Girl, run, run like the wind.
Run, Forrest, run.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Run and don't look back and block that ass so he can't circle the block.
And the thing is, don't know whether he's a good guy or not, right? But there's somebody else that's better suited for him that may not
And
like all of that affection, may not need all of that, and may just like whatever he has to offer just as it
mm-hmm.
is. But if you know that you want different or you want more and you've tried to communicate that and he not budging, girl, take your ass on in a different direction and find somebody that wants you for you.
Right.
This is like the young lady I mentioned last week that did a post in the group and was saying the guy told her he couldn't date her because of her weight, but he been fucking you for 3 years. That's stupid. I put the link in there. Okay, so y'all, okay. So
You didn't put the link in there. I've been looking and I don't
I
see the link.
I did, but I'll recount it for you. So there was a young lady that posted in the group and she was saying that she had been dating this guy for a few years. I think 3 or 4 years. They had been intimate, hanging out. I'm going to say hanging out because I don't think they were really dating. But he was telling her he wanted to date her and have a relationship with her, but he could not until she got her weight under control. And everybody in the comments was like, run and leave his ass in the grass where he at. Because if you're good enough for him to fuck you, but you're not good enough or small enough or skinty enough or whatever to be seen in public with him or to have a relationship with him until you look a certain way, girl, he don't like you that much. You're just convenient. And you deserve better than being convenient. And again, I tell the same thing to men and women. I'm equal opportunity. Be with somebody who likes you. Be with somebody who fucking desires you. Be with somebody who will go the extra mile for you. If they got all
Yes.
these conditions that you got to meet before they can engage with you in a meaningful way. Now, that doesn't mean if they done fucked up, they don't have to prove themselves. I get it.
Right.
But you should still see progress. If you're not seeing progress, take your ass on in another direction because there are other people out there who want exactly what they're giving and who want you just like you are. Alicia said,
Right.
once that thing stopped working, she gonna be big mad. Wishing she had it gone.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Right.
because
Exactly. Girl, and listen, God didn't stop when he made that one. He probably made better.
it's
You
another
just
one out there
you too
ready to go.
young. You too young to know it.
Listen, stop being stupid. And again, I say this to men and women. Stop being stupid. Let me say it again for the people in the back. Stop being stupid. Stop waiting for someone to want you. Stop waiting for someone to like you. Stop waiting for your family to respect you. Stop waiting for that job to treat you right. Stop doing whatever the thing is that you're doing. And I say this to me, I am equal opportunity. So if I'm saying it to y'all, this is the same thing I say to myself sometimes. Girl, you fucked up. Stop being stupid. Stop that dumb shit. Because there are things that we do, and sometimes in the moment we don't realize it, but once we look back at it in hindsight, it's like, yo, I really could have made a better decision. I really could have made a better choice. And we have to hold
Right.
ourselves accountable to that to learn and grow and be better. I recently fucked up something. And I had to hold myself accountable, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I can see how I could have handled that differently.
Right.
Self, take note of this. Like, we have to
Mm-hmm.
be willing to do better. We have to be willing to do different. And we have to be willing to look stupid sometimes. Sometimes you
Right.
get to the prize taking all the perfection off and just diving in the deep end to make mistakes and figure it out as you go to get where it is that you're trying to go, to become who it is that you're trying to be. Like, I'm a whole fucked up person, right? I'm human, I'm fallible. This going back to your comment about mask, and that's why I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that. If somebody's masking in a way to prevent you from seeing who they are,
Mm-hmm.
yes, time will tell, because nobody can hold a mask forever. It will eventually slip. However,
Right.
some of us mask because, like, I mask every day when I'm in public. I am not the same typically in public that I am in my
Right.
private space. I'm much more introverted and I'm a little shy still. You know, I'm much quieter. I mask and I handle business and handle shit when I'm out in the
Right.
public and I'm dealing with business and all this, that, and the other, right?
Right.
But in my personal space, I'm still very awkward. I say the dumbest shit sometimes and I make no sense half the time. But
Me
I'm
too.
learning, right? I'm a whole fallible human, but I'm genuine. That's why I say you have to. I want to normalize the conversation around gut instinct, around trusting your
Mm-hmm.
sixth sense. whatever you want to call it, your spiritual gifts, your wisdom,
Right.
your insight, I don't care what you call it. I want us to normalize that conversation because we're not taught that, a lot of us growing up. So
Nope.
we doubt it, we dismiss it, and then we have to go through the rigmarole and the ups and downs of learning it in our adulthood, right? By then, we're like, this shit don't work. It does. It just takes time. But
Right.
dumb decisions in the meantime. And then when you realize, oh, that was stupid. Okay, do better. Like, do
Right.
better. You
Do
can't
better.
blame everybody else if you keep doing the same stupid shit over and over. That's why I use the example of purses. I am a bag fanatic. Like when I tell y'all, I used to have the matching bag and shoes for this, that, and the other. Like I love shoes and I love bags. I gave up all that shit when I started dealing with health stuff after the car accident and having to prioritize. Listen, I've always
Mm-hmm.
been a budgeter. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna make sure my bills are paid first. Then I'll shop or get whatever it is that I want. That would be stupid as hell for me to be like, ha, mortgage got to be paid, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy this Brahmin bag. No, that's stupid. And I say this. Oh, here's another stupid thing I saw in a group. I was trying to figure out how to share this one because I didn't want it to seem like women can't do anything for men, but
That
low
must be
key,
the one you deleted.
I resent it. I was trying to send it so you could click through into it. It didn't come back through.
Okay. Mm-mm.
So there was this lady shared a screenshot. This guy was texting with her. They had just started dating, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get my hair cut, and I can't wait to see you and let you see the new cut." Blah blah blah. And so the conversation is going on, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, can I borrow? What was it, $42 or $32 or something?"
Uh-uh.
And she was like, "Why you need to borrow some money?" He was like, "Yeah, I thought Mama Dukes was gonna give me some money, but she ain't answering." And I
What?
really want to get my hair cut. And she was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna be able to help you. I don't know you like that." And so he was like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get up." Dude was sitting in the barbershop. Like he was in the barbershop trying to borrow money from a lady he just met. Like, can you cash app it to me so I can get no,
Cash app,
no,
nigga. What?
no.
Oh,
Like
bye.
you shouldn't even be trying to date if you can't afford to get your hair cut. You don't have a car. You living with your
Mm.
mama. That's stupid.
Mm-mm.
That's stupid.
Mm-mm.
And so everybody was like,
Priorities is
"No, baby,
messed
you're
up.
not being bougie. That's called having standards. How can a man
Right.
lead you? How can he provide? How can he do anything? Whatever your desire is of that man, if he don't even have a foundation to stand on, like that's
Right.
stupid." And again, that goes back to stop dating potential. Stop dating somebody hoping that they'll show you
And
different.
I hate
Stop
to
dating
say
somebody
it, but
hoping that
at
they'll
a
show you
certain
different.
age, it's not potential. It's just desperation. And it's just like,
Tanya
stop
said
it.
child by. Now it's different if y'all are 19
Right.
or 20 or 21 or
Right.
23.
But that's why I said
Please, no.
at a certain age though, it's not potential, it's damn desperation. Like, you know, okay, I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm finna say it. Mm. You know, there are some women who will move a man in just so that they could say they have a man
Yeah.
and he don't have nothing to bring to the table. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna be able to do that, boo. Like I can't do that. At this big age, I am not doing that. I'm not
Nope.
doing that. Like you need to have your space, I need to have my space. And then later on, if we decide that we want to move forward, then we'll get our space.
I remember this lady in my friend group years ago. Mm, she used to say she wanted a house husband. Like she was a really mm. So I get told often that I'm a dude in a woman's body, right? Like I've been
Right.
hearing this since I was in college. Like I'm more masculine oriented in how I think in some things, and I've had to be that way with business and certain things, right? And I get it. But I think I also still have my feminine side. Who knows? That being said, I remember thinking that kind of makes sense to me when she would say she wanted a house husband because she was really just domineering and just like, yeah, she was a lot. And you like it, I love it. I don't care. It ain't my money. I ain't got to spend it or, do it, deal with it. So she was always the one, like when she would tell us who she was dating, and it didn't matter if the man had money or not, but I think she typically ended up dating men who didn't have as much as she had. And so she was the one paying for the vacations and the fancy restaurants and all the things. And she finally met this guy and moved him into her house. Nate, I think at one point they'd been dating like 2 years or something like that. And he proposed and she said no. And so we were all like, okay, well, you say you love him, y'all living together, and I thought you wanted to get married. Well, he ain't got no money. You knew that when you moved him in. So what's the problem now? Well, all he do is sit at home. Okay, and you knew that
Okay,
when
and
you
you
get
knew
to
that
school.
too.
Like she was paying for him to go to school. I was like, so you're basically, you feel like you're the man in the relationship and he's the woman. And if you like it, I love it. Like it, I don't want it. I'm not finna do it. But if that's what you want, like, why are you mad? Because you got exactly what you said you wanted. You said you wanted a house husband. He cooked, he cleaned,
Right.
he went to school. You want to work and run your business, and you got exactly what you wanted, a man that's taking care of you while you go make your money. But now you're mad at the reality. Okay, we'll change it. But I love him, girl. Nope. I don't even want to talk about this no more because you sound ignorant. Like you either want it or you don't. Let it go. Pick a lane to stay
Right.
in. And again, I say that to say, like, we gotta boss up, man up, woman up, whatever you want to call it. Tanya said you providing the shelter, the transportation, and paying all the bills. No, you get this a wet ass. See, I
They
love you
make a
even more,
rose for
Tanya.
that.
I love
They
you
make
even
a
more for
rose
that.
for that. You ain't even gotta do all that. The rose will take care of you and don't talk back or nothing.
And but I say at the end of the day, figure out what you want and go for it. Again, whatever it is, go for it. If you fuck it up, figure it out, fix it, change it, do better. Like, don't give up, don't stop, don't give up trying. But if
Right.
you get exactly what you said you wanted, don't be mad because you got what you wanted. Now I have gotten exactly what I said I wanted and fucked it up because I was afraid. That's a real thing too. And I was like, okay, that was stupid. Do better.
I got what I wanted and thought that's what I wanted, and then when I got it, it was like, yeah,
I
nah, I don't
changed
want
my
this.
mind.
Right.
Tanya said we want it until we actually get it, and then I can wet my own ass.
Right, exactly.
Listen,
That
I'm
part.
trying to tell you. I just feel like if you're gonna be having sex with somebody, it should be damn good. Like it should be enough to make you want to write somebody and tell them. You ain't got to tell them, but it should be good enough to make you want to do it. And if it's not, you're not
Mm-mm.
sleeping with the right person. Because sex should be fun. It should be good. It should be pleasurable and enjoyable. It should
I
make you
shouldn't
think
be
about
feeling
it,
like I'm paying for it though.
huh? You what?
If I'm providing everything, I shouldn't feel like I'm paying for it though.
Well,
I'm just saying.
everybody got to figure out. I prefer a provider type guy, but everybody has to figure out what makes sense for them. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's patriarchal thinking, and white people just bamboozled us into that. Be that as it may, I
Yeah,
still
be
prefer a
it as it
provider type
may,
man.
but
But
I
but
ain't finna
everybody has to
take
figure
care
out
of
what they want.
nobody.
And I try not to judge it. You like it, I love it. I've met
Right.
quite a few people over my years that the guy stayed at home and the wife worked. And then I've met a lot of people that, the man had more
I
money and
wonder
he was
why.
the guy. That go 50-50. Hey, do what you do.
I wonder why. I wonder why. Because sometimes that might be just her masculine energy coming through where she wants him under her thumb. But, there's also that thing of if you need me, you won't leave me.
So
And
I
there
have
are some
a good
people who
friend of
do that.
mine. I have a good friend of mine. Um, they've been married 17 years, I think now. Maybe 18 or 19, close to 20. And so
Mhm,
they have several children together.
mhm,
Tanya said that's sex under obligation. That's not fun. That's a job. Yeah.
mhm.
So they've been married almost 20 years, and majority of the time she has been the provider. But that's actually an arrangement in the how long have I known her? Like 10, 11 years now. So in our friendship, we've talked about this extensively, right? So
Mhm.
that's an arrangement that they did when they first got together. And she absolutely loves it. Now, it's not that he won't work, it's not that he can't work. but she had very specific career goals. She wanted to be able to go back to school. She
Mm.
does not want to be at home with the kids all day. So that was the arrangement that they came to. Like, you love the kids, you can stay at home with them. I'll work and make sure we got a roof over our head. There has been times when he's come back and been like, y'all, I'm tired of being at home. I want to get out the house, miss working. And they will switch, and she'll slow down a little bit and be at home with the kids more and give him a chance to get out and do his thing or whatever. But for
Right.
the majority of their I think their youngest is now 14 or 15. For the majority of them having had children, he's been a stay-at-home dad and a house husband.
Hmm.
They absolutely fucking love it. And it works for them. I don't judge it. It works for them. It really does. And they genuinely like each other, which I love. Like, you can tell nobody's being held hostage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, that's different.
yeah, Tanya said a user is always on the hunt for the next biggest score.
Yes.
Well, like they said, it's cuddle
Absolutely.
season. It's cuddle season and
Absolutely.
tax season now. So
It
you got to
ain't
get your
cuddle season, it's
stuff.
homosexual season.
Yeah.
What? I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, that's what that is. That's a homosexual. Somebody that just wants to, well, they usually
Oh
come
my
out when
goodness.
it start getting cold, and then they go back and find something else to do when it get warm outside.
Something else or someone else.
Someone else, basically.
I was
Same
being
thing.
messy. Let me stop.
Same
Um,
thing, same thing. But
same thing. Like
I
I said,
mean,
people,
yeah,
stop being stupid. Like, listen, we all had our young, dumb, and full of cum phases in our lives. We were all experimenting and doing stupid shit when we were teenagers.
right,
But at some
right,
point, I think we have to be willing to grow up, learn coping skills, learn accountability, learn how to face our mistakes, and we're gonna
mhm,
make them. Like, I had a friend that spent his life savings some years ago on an investment, and it looked like a good opportunity, and he lost everything. He learned. Guess what he did though? He kept making money and saving again, like it wasn't the end of the
right,
world.
right,
I've gotten married before and realized, yeah, I don't want to be married to this person. Like,
right. It
we've
ain't
all
that you don't
made
want to be
mistakes.
married, you just don't want to be married to them.
That's why I said to this person.
Right, right.
I
And
think
that's
marriage is
what
a fine
and that
thing.
and that's the thing that people don't understand is sometimes when somebody says, "I don't want to be married," the to them is silent.
I mean, I am honest enough to admit my own faults, and I am messy. I am fallible. I'm a messy human. We all are.
We all
But
are.
again, this episode was about just talking shit and realizing that you can't blame everything on religion. You can't blame everything on God. God, baby, he not testing you. She not testing you. It, they, them, whatever's out there is not always testing you. You are not that important in the grand scheme of
Sometimes
things that
it's just you being
is
dumb.
just you fucking up, right? You are not that important in
Right.
the grand scheme of things that every day of your life has to be a test. I don't believe that. And I damn sure don't believe the devil is attacking you, and you know
He got other shit
everything
to
ain't the
do.
devil. Sometimes it's just badass decisions and stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to own up to it and be adult about it and be like, that was all me. That was me. Take that one to the chest and keep it moving. And at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, get you people that love you in your life. I am convinced that when we have good people around us, friends, family, loved ones, whatever you want to call
Right.
them, I am truly blessed. I call myself truly blessed because I am not close with my family, but I have friends who love me like family, like sisters, like big bros,
Right.
and look out for me, that call me on my bullshit, that keep me honest and accountable. And I do the same. That reciprocity and that love
Mm-hmm.
is a powerful thing in healing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
if you ain't got
It
no
sure
good people,
is.
get you some good people.
And yep. And then the thing is also be truthful with the people in your circle.
Yes.
Be truthful
Yes.
with the people in your circle. And listen, Tanya has called me on my shit. I've called Tanya on her shit. But at the end of the day, we have over 43 years of friendship between us. And I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it for the world. If you got people in your circle that can tell you the truth and you keep moving,
Yeah.
Those are your people.
It's a blessing to be loved. I think that's how I want to
Mhm.
end tonight. Like that's the thing that I want to say. It's a
Right.
blessing to be loved. And when
Mhm.
people take a chance on you to love you, whether platonically or romantically, it's a
Right.
blessing for someone to see the good in
You.
you, the greatness in you, the you, all between your mess and your bullshit and all
Mhm.
your accolades and all the mistakes, and they see you. That is a genuine blessing. And so when
Mhm.
you have that in your life, use it to grow. You know, when my friends check
Mhm.
me on shit, I'm like, thank you for that. And periodically I go to them like, hey, you got a few minutes to talk? Yeah, okay. Well, I just want to run some stuff by you because I need outside perspective on this, right?
Right.
Like use your mistakes for growth, use your lessons for growth. Don't keep being stupid just for the sake of being stupid. There's nothing cute about that.
Nope.
And that's only going to land you in more heartache and dumb decisions. But when you are blessed to have good people in your life, men, women, family, friends, whoever, like take advantage of that. Be kind and loving to them. And more than anything, be kind, generous, and loving to yourself and allow that to flow. Because to me, that is
Mhm.
what brings the beauty of life, the joy of life. Like, and in the meantime, y'all know I'm always gonna say get some good ass orgasms. Okay, Sean is not here tonight to tell us about this Superman pose that he was talking about in the song that he was gonna have to go with it. So we're gonna table that to next week. But I will say I was looking up some just so that I could share some with y'all. I really wanted him to explain this Superman because I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Right.
But I was looking up a few, and I am gonna pull one up to share with y'all, and then I'm gonna share a song that I think you can rock with it to enjoy yourself and your person, or yourself by yourself. I mean, because either way, I feel like you can never have too many good O's. Yes. We're, we're going to say the reverse cowgirl. Now, the reverse cowgirl.
Ah.
We're going to say the reverse cowgirl. Now, the reverse cowgirl, if you don't know, it is you being on top as a lady and the guy being up underneath you, or hell, even your woman being up underneath you. Like whatever you doing, rock your thing, float your boat. So instead of facing them face to face, you are turning and facing their feet.
Right.
I, I'm assuming if you put a strap on, that's still workable. I'm going to imagine that it is. I don't quite know because they ain't my thing. But
Right.
if you're a woman on top of a man, yes, you are facing their feet. You insert that thing, and you ride it just like you would if you were facing them. It just gives you a little bit different type of depth, a different type of penetration and
Mhm.
angle. You're still in control. So you can ride a
Right.
cowgirl. And I'm going to say that I think a great song to go with that particular move is Sex Room by Ludacris. Yes. If
Okay.
you've never heard the song, look it up. I love the song. It's, yeah.
Hmm.
Now, ironically, I heard this song at a women's conference for Christian women. I was like, oh, so y'all be getting down. Yes.
I'll say what?
Yes.
Let me find
Anywho,
out.
just a little
Okay.
tidbit. So, reverse cowgirl, if you've never tried it, try it. Report back with your findings next week. If you're ashamed to tell us out in the open, that's okay. I don't shame
Just
nobody.
send it
You can
in
message us and tell
look,
us.
send it in the message
Send
then,
it in
cause
a
you
message because you're
it
going to
ain't
do it
like y'all
again.
don't do it anyway.
And get on YouTube or Spotify or Amazon or wherever you play your fine music playlist and look up the song Sex Room by
Right.
Ludacris. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all got some
I'll
homework?
have mine next week.
Yes. You got some homework? Count them O's and see how many you can get in. I feel like it should be a contest between you and your person. How much pleasure can you give each other? I mean, I don't think that either one can lose when you're in it for that motivation. Yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds like a good fun game.
See what I'm saying? Who can give who the most O's? Hmm.
Right.
Or
How
who
many
can make
O's?
who say, here's another one, who can make who say, because some men, once they done gave it all, that's it. They're not going to be doing it back to back. And that's fair, right? Some people leave it all on the field one time, and there's nothing wrong with that. But another way to twist that game is to be like, who can make who say their name first? I mean, there's so many ways to have fun. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Experiment. You got homework. Anything you want to add to the table before we close it out, Gypsy?
Nope. Just Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. And until then, we are Audi 5000.
See y'all later. Peace.